Guys, your favorite streamer, your favorite content creator, all of them has just died today. So as you know, DemonDogg, or my dad, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a little break. But he has died today. So I don't know exactly how he died. So like, whenever I called the hospital and they took him out in the body bag, they took him down to the hospital and they said they were gonna take him to the hospital and then the coroner was gonna come and take them to the coroner and go like look to see what was wrong. But I'm gonna tell you everything that happened to me. So like he's been very sick for like the past couple of days. So I've been like checking in on him and stuff. So like there's like birds in the background. But I always go like check on him and stuff. And you know, like see how he is because he's been very sick. And he hasn't eaten in like 10 days. So I always go check in on him. I'm always like, how are you doing? He'll tell me. I'll be like, you need something to drink? And if he answers yes, I give him something. If he answers no, I won't get him anything. If he answers, oh no, I'll ask him, does he want anything to eat? And he always says no to that. So that's how it usually goes down. I'll be like, alright. And then I'll do whatever. And then I'll talk to him for a little bit, maybe like 2 minutes. Then come back in here and keep playing. So like, so today it was about maybe like 10 o'clock, right? And I came in there to check on him. And he was sitting in a chair in front of his bed. And I was like, hey man, how you doing? He didn't answer me, right? I was like, hey, look at me real quick. And he did. Cause like, and he had like snot running all down his nose. Cause I was like, hold on man, I'll be right back. So I went and got a, rag, right? To wipe down his face. And so I got the rag and I gave it to him. Why is my knuckles? Whoa, okay. My knuckles are red for some reason. I want to go check on him. Like, wait, no, fuck. I keep on forgetting what I'm saying. I didn't mean to cuss, by the way. So I grabbed the rag and I come over and I'm like, here you go, wipe your face down. And he just doesn't do anything. And I'm like, okay, I'll wipe it for you. And I was like, lift your head up. And he lifted his head up. So I was like, okay, he wants me to wipe his face down. He wants me to do this. So I wiped his face down. And I'm like, you need anything to drink? And he shook his head yes. So I went to go get him something to drink. And he was so weak, he couldn't drink anything. So like I had to like physically pick up the drink and like hold it where he could drink it. And like I had to like tip it over a little bit where he could drink it. And so like I said, my mom has, I don't know if I said this already, but my mom lost her job during spring break. My spring break, and my dad just got lost of all his disabilities. Like all the disability benefits. So we weren't getting paid at all. So we were like, yo, Dad, you need to go. He's like, I can't go. I don't have the money to go. And we were like, bro, you got to go. But he just insisted upon not going. And then, like, 2 or 3 days before today, my mom texted my friend, or her friend, which texted her friend, which she called the, I don't know if she called 911 or not, but she called, she just called, like, there was, like, two police officers here, and, like, one other guy, I don't know who he was. But they tried to convince him to go, and he still didn't want to go. So, I'm still not over it yet, but I basically kind of pulled myself together with it. But, they told him to go, but he didn't want to go. So, like I said, let me go back to where I was. So, like, 10 o'clock. I wiped his face and I was like, you want anything to drink? He said, yeah, and I went to go get him something to drink. And, he was so weak he couldn't even drink anything. Like, I had to hold the drink for him and tip it over. And, so I did that. And I was like, bro, you gotta get some food into your system. And he didn't even, like, he just, like, looked at me for a second. I was like, I'm gonna get you some applesauce. We got him some applesauce. Because he says whenever he eats, it, like, hurts his throat really badly. So he can't eat. So I was like, and he said he can only drink things, which also hurts his throat, but he drinks it anyway. So we got him like things kind of like liquid, so applesauce is like liquid, and we got him some of that, and we told him, I told him like you don't eat this, and he didn't eat it. So I was like, yo, turn your head, because he had his head down like this right here. I was like, yo, turn your head, and he turned his head like this. I was like, open up your mouth, and he opened up his mouth. So I know he wanted to eat it, and I took a spoonful and I put it in his mouth. And then he like did a sour face like, and then like shook his head no. And I'm like, bro, you have to eat, bro, you have to eat. So I gave him another spoonful. And after that, he's like, I'm not eating no more. I'm like, come on, man, you got to. And he said no. So I went and got some yogurt because we had like one or two left. And he refused to eat any of that. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna go talk to my friends and I'll see you later. And as I was walking out, he's never told me this before. He looked at me, or no, he said, Christopher, and I was like, what? And he looked at me and said, please come check on me later. And I said, okay. So I was playing Fortnite, and it was about 12:30ish, and I was playing with some people, and they were making me mad. So I left early, and I want to go check on them. I said, hey, how you doing? And he was sitting on the edge of his bed. I'm like, bro, you look really bad. I was like, you need anything to drink? And he had, I didn't realize this, but as soon as I said that, he like picked up a red cup and it was milk inside and he was drinking it. And then he he like drunk it, right? So I'm like, okay. So you don't need anything to drink? And he said, no, I will later though. And I'm like, when later? He's like, way later. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, bro, your eyes are like really red. You need to lay down and go to sleep. And he's like, okay. And like, it's like my dad's room has like this like ceiling fan light, and it's got like these like little border lights around it, which are orange and they're like very dim. So like, he said turn off the light. So I turn on the little light, which is the little ring lights around it, which they barely draw in any light, and I turned off the actual like big light. So I'm sitting on one side of the bed, just like watching out for him and stuff. Cause like my bedtime is 1 o'clock, and it was 1 o'clock. He's like, go to bed now. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to go to bed right now. He said, okay. I'm like, you need to go to bed though, because his eyes are like bloodshot red. So I'm like, bro, you need to go to bed. So he goes to bed, and like I'm just sitting here watching YouTube videos about like 1:30, right? And I'm just sitting here watching it, and then like the little lights are on, so I can kind of see a little bit. And out the corner of my eye, I just see him twitching. So I looked over and he's like that right there, and he just he's like that right there. And then I'm like, I go over there and I shake him. I'm like, hey, you okay? And he doesn't answer me. And then I'm like, bro, you need to answer me. And then so I turn on the big light and I look at him, and he's like really pale. And he's just like looking. He's just looking up at the ceiling like. His mouth is wide open with like spit hanging all out of his mouth. And his eyes are just really red, just like looking at the ceiling. And you know he was like in complete despair. And the reason I'm not sad right now is because like I basically just cried everything out right now. And I've made this video like so many times about accidentally keep on turning off my phone, which is his demon's phone, but it's probably mine now. But like, so what I did, like, I was like, yo, you need to get up. Cause like, I never seen him sleep with his eyes open before, but I know people do. And I know like whenever people sleeping, like they twitch in their sleep sometimes. So maybe that's the problem, right? So I go get my mom, I'm like, hey mom, you need to come here real quick. I try to stay calm and everything. Because whenever a situation like that happens, you really need to stay calm. And I'm like, hey, you need to come here real quick. And she did, and then she saw him twitching and stuff. And I was like, hey, maybe he's okay, maybe he's just sleeping. And then she goes, lays back down, and about 30 seconds later, I'm like, hey man, you need to wake up, and I'm shaking him, and I'm shaking him and stuff. I'm like, hey man, wake up. And then like I run in there to where I'm like, hey man, hey mom, you need to come here real quick. And she came in there. I'm like, he's not moving. He's just out there, he's just laying there. And she starts calling his name, and I try to lift him up, like try to be like, hey man, wake up. And he doesn't wake up. So my mom was like, we need to call the hospital. And I'm like, alright. So she tries calling 911. And there's like this big old couch on walkway. It's like an extra one. So like I had to move that. And my mom's tried calling and I went over and I was like, have you called him yet? And she's like, no. I'm like, let me see it. And like she was like shaking really bad. She was like, because she already has a shaking problem. But like being like that, she was shaking even harder. So like she was like, you know what I mean? So she kept on typing in 9111 811111. I was like, let me see it real quick. So I grabbed and I dialed 911. It was like, and it said where I live, and it said 911 emergencies. How may I help you? And then I was like, I told them everything I just said, and then they were like, is he breathing? And I was like, I don't know. And then I said, last time I checked, and they're like, well, can you go in there and check his pulse real quick? So I went in there. And I just looked down for a second, and he was so pale, and I didn't see him breathing. Usually he breathes really heavy. I didn't see him breathing, though. So I just looked down for a second, and I didn't see him breathing. I was like, oh my god. So then I put my hand on his chest, and he wasn't breathing. And then I was like, please let him have a pulse. And then I felt his, like, wrist, and he didn't pulse. And I told her, I was like, I don't think he's breathing. And then I didn't want to think that he was dead. But she was like, so he's dead? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But I didn't want to think that he was dead. So then the ambulance showed up, and I told him everything that I said. And he has, like, wires in his chest. Because, like I said, he had a heart attack before, and they had to do open heart surgery. And they had to put wires in his chest to keep it together. And then, like, he had another heart attack in 2014. Or 2015, one of the two. And he... Yeah, I was there when he had his second one. But he didn't have to go into all that surgery or anything. That was just the first time. And, so they come in, and I tell them everything that happens. And I told them they can't do, like, CPR on him, like, they can't, like, be pushing on his chest, because I told him that a while back, he told me that if he ever gets in that situation, which he might have predicted, to be honest, because he was like, if I ever get in a situation where I need CPR done on me, do not let anybody do CPR on me, because I have wires in my chest, and they will probably break if they do CPR. So I told him that, and the guy was like, we have to do CPR on him. That's like the only way we can bring him back. So I'm like, alright, whatever, just do it. Because I just wanted him back, bro. And then, like, I went to go sit outside for a little bit, and I just saw, like, every single one of them just walk out. Like, every firefighter and ambulance person. Every medic just, like, walk out. And I'm like, did they actually bring him back? And then they're just, like, putting all their gear back, and they're not telling me anything. They're just putting all their gear back. And I was like, wouldn't they be putting them on a stretcher if they brought them back? Because usually that's what they do. And then I'm like, maybe they're back. So I go back in the house, and I go to look at him, and he's still there. And I see, like, he's just naked, but, like, he has underwear on. And he just has these white pads on him. And he has, like, all these things hooked up to him. And I'm like, this isn't gonna, he's gone. And my mom, she looked at me. Like, she didn't look at me, but, like, I went back in there. And I sat on the couch. And then my mom was talking to two firefighters. And then she told me, she was like, you're not gonna like this. And I'm like, I already know what it is. I told her, I was like, I already know what's happening. And she's like, yeah, he's dead. And then, as soon as I knew he was dead, I just don't want to believe it, bro. Like, I miss that man so much. He was my best friend. Like, and all that. And he always told me how ready, like, he always told me, if I die, I die. It doesn't matter. But I remember, like, during those times, he was like, and this what really got me too. A while back, it was about 2 or 3 days ago, I was helping him with his TV, and he called my mom in there. And then he was like, he said my mom's name, and he said, what happens if I die before I make it? And I told him, I was like, you're not going to die. And I just walked back in the bed, like, walked in here, because I didn't want to hear that. And yeah, that's basically how he died. That's all I can say. They said that they were going to bring him to the hospital. The coroner was going to grab his body and bring him to the coroner. And then they won't find out how he died. And that's it. Guys, R.i.p DemonDogg. You will be missed. Just know you're my best friend. You always will be. You'll always be there with me. Goodbye.